for oil, a war for gold, a war for money, and a war for souls. A war on terror, a war on drugs, a war on kindness, a war on hugs, a war on birds, and a war on bees. They got a war on hippies.
Hi, I'm Liz Reese, and welcome to Voices of Resistance. Today's program is titled, In the Streets to Oppose Trump. And on January 20th and January 21st, we saw people nationwide across the country, around the world, and here locally in Hawaii take to the streets to righteously oppose Trump and say no to a fascist America. First, I want to show everyone my very cool shirt I'm wearing. These shirts were made by the Hawaii J20 Coalition, which was a coalition of community activists, including myself and World Can't Wait, and other students and faculty and other organizations from the University of Hawaii, who all came together to build and mobilize for January 20th. And we asked for shirts to be donated and simply silk screened over them to say Inaugurate Resistance, J20 and beyond. And we say J20 and beyond because we will not stop after January 20th. In fact, we have to continue. We have to mobilize even more, and we have a lot of work to do. Just to let people know how much work we have to do, I want to very briefly mention some of the important news of what Trump has attempted to do in the few days since he took office. I'm actually filming the show 5 days after the inauguration, and Trump is moving even faster than what anyone expected. For example, all Spanish language has been removed from the government website. All reference to climate change and GLBT has been removed. Orders on Monday, January 23rd, which was his first official day in office, included the global gag order, making it illegal to provide funding for NGOs and health organizations in other countries that provide or even mention the option of abortion. The EPA has been virtually closed down, and the new federal guidelines that were the outcome of the federal investigation of the Baltimore police have been rescinded, which basically gives the green light to police to do any damn thing they want. He's right now in the process of proceeding on the Dakota Access Pipeline and the Keystone Pipeline. Just today, as I'm filming this show, he promised to start building the wall, escalating attacks on immigrants, and sanctuary cities. So that's just a short snippet of what Donald Trump is already doing. So for all those people who said, it's not going to be that bad, let's just wait and see and play it out, no. It's a lot worse than we even ever anticipated, which is why we have to be out in the streets. So first I want to talk about January 20th. On January 20th, tens of thousands of people took to the streets, and I want to show a very short video clip from The Real News that give people just kind of a rough idea of some of the global actions that took place on Inauguration Day.
Protests are underway against Donald Trump as he's set to become the 45th president across Washington, D.C., the United States, and the world. Black Lives Matter protesters and their supporters linked arms to block people from entering security checkpoints Friday morning. Police in riot gear pushed them back to an intersection to allow people attending the inauguration to reach checkpoints. Protesters have vowed to disrupt Donald Trump's inauguration.
Administration, we've been out here fighting. This isn't something new, but we decided that it was important that we show that on this day we are still here and we're not going anywhere.
Great.
This checkpoint is closed! This checkpoint is closed! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
I just, honestly, I hope to stir shit up. I hope to stir shit up. I don't want his inauguration to be, it's not a celebration, it's not a good ceremony. This is not happy, this is not a good event. So we want to make sure that the media, that everybody knows that we are not having it. Regardless of he gets to the podium or not, we are not having it.
Protests have taken place in numerous cities across the world, including Berlin, Germany, Tokyo, Japan, London, England, Manila, Philippines, and the West Bank of the occupied Palestinian territories. Anti-Trump protesters cursed and clashed with police outside of the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., as an inauguration event called the Deplorable was underway Thursday night, January 19th. The event was attended by members of the alt-right, a euphemism for white supremacists.
Nobody gets snatched in. He basically got his support by lying to people who felt they were disenfranchised, by dividing people on the basis of religion, on the basis of sexuality, on the basis of, man, woman. He's all the terrible things. He's nothing. He's a clown. He shouldn't be president, basically.
In Los Angeles, thousands of activists, including anti-abortion activists, held rallies against the soon-to-be president.
I'm not only pissed off, I'm in shock about what's about to happen tomorrow.
And in New York, thousands took to the streets to voice their opposition to Trump and vowed to oppose his extremist agenda.
We're gonna win, folks. A little bit of pain, a little bit of discomfort, but a lot of work on our part will stop this man. He will not last the 4 years. It's a dangerous combination, a narcissist and a public official, because it all is about what's in it for me. Me. And when they think like that, that's when they break the law, and that's when he'll go down.
Donald Trump and Steve Bannon and Mike Pence and all these people that are part of the Trump administration, they think that you are going to lay down. Are you going to lay down? The one thing that they don't realize is that New Yorkers never lay down. You say whatever you want to about this city, and New Yorkers never lay down. Are you going to fight?
Go to therealnews.com for our ongoing live stream coverage of Donald Trump's inauguration. This is Jessel Noor.
So that was one of the videos just to give people an idea of the wide variety of protests taking place. And I want to briefly talk about some of the Disrupt J20 protests that happened in Washington, D.C. Now, there's been a lot of talk about so-called violent protesters. Now, in the context of things of, smashing a window at Starbucks or burning an obscene limousine, let's be very clear about who the violent ones are. And when you see footage of the police cracking down on people, being extremely violent, macing people, cornering people in, brutalizing people, it is the police who are the violent ones at these protests. So I want to show people just some short footage of some of the Disrupt J20 protests that happen. And I also want to let people know, very importantly, that felony riot charges against many of the inauguration protesters are pending. More than 200 people who were mass arrested at the Washington, D.C. protests against the inauguration of Donald Trump have been hit with felony riot charges that are punishable by up to 10 years.
Back up. exercise. Everyone back up! Stay back! Baby, that fucking shit in your hand. Incoming! Incoming! Watch your head! Watch the missiles! Watch the missiles! Watch the missiles! Back up! Back up! Back
checkpoint. Large explosions. Trapped.
Everyone here is trapped in between two police lines.
This is gonna get ugly.
This might be a mass arrest right now. They're charging the police line.
So the next thing I want to talk about is Refuse Fascism. World Can't Wait is a part of the group Refuse Fascism, and I encourage people to check out refusefascism.org. And next I want to show a short clip of some Refuse Fascism activists in the streets. And I want to quickly read just a short statement that came out after the inauguration protest from Refuse Fascism. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. The world changed this weekend. First, Donald Trump made clear in an unprecedented inaugural speech and then an equally unprecedented appearance at the CIA that he is moving very rapidly to a fascist reordering of society. Second, millions of people in the U.S. and around the world came out in equally unprecedented demonstrations to make clear their abhorrence for everything Trump stands for. The world changed, but it must change still more. Time is short. Once such a fascist reordering takes place, resistance and change become immeasurably more difficult. We must not lose the momentum. Act in Washington, D.C. and all over. Our resistance must call even more people back into the streets. To stop this regime, we must stop business as usual this week. Every faction in the power structure must feel compelled to respond to what we, the people, do. This could force a political situation in which the Trump-Pence regime is prevented from consolidating and could be ousted. So once again, I really want to encourage people to check out refusefascism.org. They've been mobilizing and organizing since right after the election. They called for a whole month of resistance in the streets. And even now, after the inauguration, they're calling for people to stay in the streets. So I want to show this short video clip of some Refuse Fascism activists that are in the streets, including Sunsara Taylor. So check this out.
Donald Trump, Mike Pence, are fascists. They're racist. They're bigots. They're women haters. They're immigrant bashers. They're white supremacists. Climate change deniers. We ourselves. All of us. The anarchists. The students. The communists. The Democrats. The Christians. The Muslims. The immigrants. The foreign-born. The Jewish people. The atheists.
also want to mention briefly about the Musicians Against Fascism concert. The day before the inauguration on January 19th, there was a benefit concert for Refuse Fascism, and it was called Musicians Against Fascism. And it was a really cool, powerful concert. And you can check out some footage on the refusefascism.org site. And I encourage people to check out Arturo O'Farrill, who is a 5-time Grammy Award-winning jazz musician who emceed the event and made a very powerful statement. So I hope people check that out. I think an important aspect of both Refuse Fascism out in the streets and Musicians Against Fascism concert is the importance of all kinds of people on all different levels and all different fronts to come together to take a stand for humanity. And all types of resistance are needed, whether it's through music, art, education, resistance, in the streets, you name it. It is all necessary and it is all needed. Which brings me to the local Hawaii J20 events that took place on Friday, January 20th. And they included many different types of resistance throughout the day. And I was really inspired and happy throughout the morning and the early part of the day to see the University of Hawaii campus so alive with energy and spirit and activism and students organizing. There were different seminars and teach-ins happening all throughout the morning, including on, resistance music, on climate change, on the attacks on Palestinians. There were many different kinds of workshops happening. And then there was a larger rally and teach-in that happened at the campus center steps that went on for a couple of hours. And it just made me really happy to see that kind of activism in spirit. I mean, yes, this is a horrible situation that we're in of why we have to be out on the streets, but it actually gave me a lot of hope and encouragement. I've been doing Voices of Resistance for a very long time now, since George W. Bush was first, in office. And to finally see the type of resistance that's finally stepping forward. But we definitely need to increase on that. So next up, I want to show people some of different footage of the events that happened throughout January 20th here locally. Like I said, a lot of the events started up at the University of Hawaii campus, and then there were different feeder marches. One feeder march coming from the Honolulu Zoo area, one from the University of Hawaii campus, and one from Ala Moana Beach Park entrance. And all those marches marched over to Waikiki, to Gateway Park, which is where Kohio and Kalakaua split off. And it was, over 500. It's still hard to get estimates right now. Some people say close to 600 or 700 people that, took place total in all the feeder marches. And then we marched over to Trump International to have our voices be heard in opposing Trump. And from there, we marched down to the Waikiki Shell, where there was a free unity concert put on over at the Shell. So check out some of this footage from Hawaii J20.
the streets to peacefully protest injustices as we inaugurate a new era of social activism. We will learn the principles and strategies of nonviolent resistance as we prepare ourselves to march, sit in, walk out, rise up, and make noise. We must delegitimize the Trump agenda as it's time to defend ourselves, our loved ones, and the world that sustains us. Trump and his appointees stand in opposition to the values we embrace as residents of Hawaii Nei. We will never support fascism, and we will not sit idly as the institutions of democracy are destroyed. The resistance began this morning as professors and students across this university held alternative educational activities. And it continues with this mass teach-in, where we'll be joined by experts and activists who will address a number of issues under threat, from climate change to labor, to women's rights to civil rights, and more. Welcome to the resistance.
There it is. Yeah. We know. Great when what?
Hi, President.
Thank you, ma'am.
You folks, you need to chant. To have a
Go no. No one's illegal?
No one's illegal.
So let's see you down there, man.
Yeah,
we don't need no whatever.
Fascist.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. Hey.
coming. We got another crew coming. 1 and 2. Let's go.
This is the land of our ancestors. This is the land of the first people of this land, Kanakamoli. And from the beginning, we came from the Ko'a and the deep Pohonu, the deepest waters and the deepest pool of the night. And we became the single-celled creatures, and we rose up. And out of the earth and out of the loam came the many people, came Papahanamoku. Wakea. This is the land. We are people and children of that land. And we welcome all of you who stand with us, who stand in this world against the darkness that is to come. We are the watchers in the dark in the coldest winter. I just came back from Standing Rock. And the part of Standing Rock had a There, in every corner of the globe, indigenous peoples are at the front lines of every ecological struggle. And why is that? Why is that? Because the First Nations of the world have always stood against subjugation, oppression, and destruction. They had to destroy our lands, they had to destroy our peoples, because we live in sustainability with the community. So, ayo, Kapu, it's time to Ōlelo. We'll talk story again at Chum Tower. Aloha.
And so Ed, you've been at this one. What do you think of this one?
It's big.
Big?
Biggest one I've seen in a few years.
Few years, yeah, since APEC, right?
I think the Hawaiians had a parade through Waikiki.
There is an opportunity here with this president, because it is not just Native people now who see the worst aspects of American expansion, of American empire. All of our citizens have the capacity to see the problems that this brings, this overweening arrogance, this overwhelming dependence on militarism, this complete faith in the market and in capital. These are the things that have brought America to this place where you have a president that clearly half of the country at least fears and loathes. Our task in the future and over the next few years certainly is going to be how to fight this effectively, and I'm going to tell you that it comes, first of all, with patience and the breakdown of barriers between all of us. This is not just an issue for people of color. This is not just an issue for women. This is not just an issue for people who want to protect their own bodies. This is not just for Native people. This is for everyone. We are all in this fight, and we must hold hands together through it.
Obama's already all-time record of deportation is precisely how fascism will enter the United States. Let us not forget that every fascist regime that has existed and every wannabe fascist today has used the figure of the immigrant, the foreigner, the outsider to mobilize support. Marine Le Pen in France, Nigel Farage in Britain, both of whom attended Trump's inauguration today, ran on an explicitly anti-immigrant agenda. Once the kind of police state that is required to institutionalize Trump's deportation force is put into place, we would be foolish to think that it's going to stop there. Fascism happens when one group is targeted and the rest of us gleefully look on or cower behind our doors as our neighbors, those labeled as threats to national society by the state, are rounded up. Then, as the promised jobs don't materialize, or they turn out to be bad jobs, another group is rounded up, and then another group, and then another group is rounded up until we hear our own door being broken down. Are we gonna let that happen? No!
Please, I invite you to join us so that we can think through together the next steps of how to continue the resistance. You can also find out more information on the website www.hawaii-j20.com. Can't wait. What's up, everybody? Power to the people! So I want to hear some noise from anyone that was marching in the streets today. It's important to know that people march
principal. A lot of time went into today, and we really appreciate your time and your efforts.
I feel hopeful when I look at you guys.
Whoever thought I'd be wearing an apron, yeah? With the suffragette apron.
Ōlelo, and we march together. I've been wearing my boots a lot lately. They feel good.
So I hope people like some of that footage of the events that happened locally, and I want to thank Oren for filming that event and making that available for us. And I thought it was really awesome to be a part of that and to be there and to know that you were standing with people across the country, even around the world, and taking a real stand for humanity. Which brings me next to January 21st, the women's marches across the globe. Millions took to the streets. They're still debating some of the numbers. Most people are saying around the world, it was definitely between 3 to 4 million, possibly closer to 4 million people. Here locally, it was, probably the biggest protest I've ever been involved with here locally. And it's just amazing to me. For years and years, I've been, very frustrated and fed up with the so-called women's movement, saying, where the hell are they? Why aren't they out in the streets? And it took Trump. But here we are, finally, out in the streets. And something that made me most encouraged and most hopeful about this women's movement is it wasn't a narrow movement, and it wasn't just about women or women's health or access to abortion, which are very, very important rights, don't get me wrong, but I was very happy to see this broadened out to the bigger issue of human rights, because when you're in the streets opposing Trump, these issues all go together. It is about humanity. It's about the racism, the attacks on immigrants, the attacks on Muslims. It's about Black Lives Matter. And seeing all those issues really out there and represented at the women's marches around the world and even here in Hawaii really, really inspired me to see what's really happening. So I want to show two short clips, both from Hawaii. The first one you're going to see is the Women's March on Oahu here in Honolulu, and it was taken by Ryan Ozawa. And the second video clip I want to show you, which was pretty cool, there was stuff happening on, for as far as I know, all the outer islands, but I don't have footage yet of all of them. But I want to show you the thousands in Hilo for the Women's March, and this is put out by Big Island Video News. So check out these two videos, and I'll be back.
I know, right?
That's true. No, I couldn't. But I was just looking at
Right here on Ōlelo Bay, we're on the march for women's rights today. Right here on Ōlelo Bay, and he ain't gonna study war no more. We're on the march for women's rights today. Right here on Ōlelo Bay. Right here on Ōlelo Bay. Right here on Ōlelo Bay. We're on the march for women's rights today.
So that was just some short clips to show you, you know, some of the spirit and what's happening here locally with the women's movement. If you have not seen footage of the DC Women's March, I encourage people to go online. There are some wonderful, kick-ass, very powerful statements and speeches from people. You know, I wanted to show all of them, but that's just not possible. So I am actually going to end the show with a clip from Alicia Keys, who most people know needs no introduction, very famous singer as well as activist. And I thought she gave a very powerful statement as well as her song. And I think that's a good way to end the show. But first, I want to encourage people to be part of the movement. We must be in the streets on all different fronts, on all different levels. We have to come together for humanity. One of the reasons I thought the sign I picked for today, "I am not a good German," was so appropriate is because, you know, when we look back in history, what happened during Nazi Germany, and many people kind of just standing by the wayside. And it's easier for us to look now in 2017 and say, well, how the hell did that happen? How come people didn't speak up or do something? And how come they were letting people, you know, be killed and genocide and all kinds of horrible things happening? Well, now is not the time to be a good German. Now is the time to speak up for humanity and to refuse a fascist America. So get involved, get active. Do not be silent. We can no longer sit back and wait and see what more horrible things Trump is going to do. So be part of the movement and out in the streets. And thank you for watching Voices of Resistance.
Ladies and gentlemen, are we here? Are you ready to march? Say yeah! Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that is rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that is wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. Now, I know you've been hearing a lot of talking, and we all have so much to say inside of us. I just want to thank you so much for your courage. Thank you so much for your womanliness. Thank you so much for your strength. Thank you so much let us continue to honor all that is beautiful about being feminine. We are mothers. We are caregivers. We are artists. We are activists. We are entrepreneurs, doctors, leaders of industry and technology. Our potential is unlimited. We rise. We rise. We will not allow our bodies to be owned and controlled by men in government or men anywhere for that matter. We will not allow our compassionate souls to get stepped on. We want the best for all Americans. No hate, no bigotry, no Muslim registry. We value education, healthcare, and equality. We will continue to rise until our voices are heard, until our planet's safety is not deferred, until our bombs stop dropping in other lands, until our dollar is the same dollar as a man's. And we continue to recognize that yes, we can. Until everyone respects Mother Energy and everyone with a belly button must agree. So I need you to repeat after me. We are here. We are here. We're on fire. We're on fire. Living in a world. That's on fire. Feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Not backing down. Not backing down. Feet on the ground. Feet on the ground. Not backing down. This girl is on fire. With these fly girls and we on fire. Put your fist up. Put your fist up. Put your fist up. I see your strength. I see your strength. We fear you. Yeah.
War on people who just love to dance. A war on music, a war on speech, a war on teachers and the things they teach. A war for the last 500 years. War's just messing up.